The sanctuary was almost empty. Only a few scattered voices lingered, soft echoes of prayer floating up toward the high ceiling. Sunlight streamed through the stained glass windows, painting colors across the worn wooden floor. Amara knelt at the altar, her hands clasped tightly, her heart even tighter. Lord, her voice trembled, I'm tired of being alone. She swallowed hard, fighting the tears threatening to fall. I don't just want love, I want your love for me, the one you chose. The one you designed, my husband, where is he? Silence, not empty silence but the kind that feels like someone is listening. Then, deep within her spirit, clear and steady, a voice. You already know him. Amara's breath caught. Her mind raced. I know him? Faces flashed through her thoughts, friends, co-workers, church members, and then she heard the name Paul. Paul? She stiffened. No, Lord. She whispered, almost laughing nervously, not Paul. Paul was invisible. Not in a literal sense, he was there every Sunday, same seat, same posture. Same quiet presence, but to Amara, he might as well be a wall. They had attended the same church for years. And in all that time, not a single conversation, not even a proper hello. Sometimes she would walk right past him close enough to brush shoulders and he would look right through her as if she didn't exist. That can't be right, she murmured, he doesn't even see me. But the voice came again, gentle and unshaken. He is the one. The next Sunday, Amara sat 3 rows behind Paul. Her eyes kept drifting toward him. That's my husband, she thought. He flipped through his Bible, focused, calm, and unbothered. No glance back, no acknowledgement. Nothing. Her chest tightened. Lord, if this is real, I need confirmation. That morning, the pastor stepped up to the pulpit and smiled. Today, he began. I want to talk about recognizing what God has already placed in your life, even if it doesn't look like what you expected. Amara froze. Her heart started pounding. Sometimes it's someone you've overlooked, or someone who has overlooked you. Her eyes slowly drifted toward Paul. He didn't move, didn't react. But, Amara felt like the message was written just for her. That night, she dreamed, she was standing at the altar again, but this time, the music played softly. She looked down at her white dress. Her heart leapt. She looked and there he was. Paul, standing at the end of the aisle. Looking directly at her, smiling, not that distant, detached expression. She knew. But, warm, present, certain. She woke up with tears in her eyes. A few days later, while grocery shopping, an elderly woman approached her, out of nowhere. You're waiting on something, the elderly woman said gently. Amara blinked, surprised. Excuse me? The woman smiled knowingly. Don't give up on the one God showed you, even if he doesn't see you yet. Amara's heart dropped into her stomach. How did you? But the woman simply patted her hand and walked away. More time passé, and still, nothing. No change, no progress, no acknowledgement. Amara sat in her room, with her hands up like she was praying. Holding back her tears. Lord, I can't do this anymore, she whispered, this doesn't make sense. For the first time she considered letting go. Lord, I'm trying to trust you, she whispered. But it feels one-sided. Her voice cracked. What kind of love starts with being ignored? Then came Steve. Steve was everything Paul was not, confident, charismatic, warm. Amara noticed him, but he was already looking at her, smiling. He was holding eye contact just a little longer than normal. Week after week, it continued. A glance here, a smile there. Eventually, a wave, then a conversation. Hey, he said one Sunday, walking up to her after service. I've seen you around, I'm Steve. Hi, I'm Amara. I know, he said with a grin. Her heart fluttered. He know my name, something so simple but it felt monumental. Over the next couple of months, Steve would sit near her, walk with her after service. He would ask about her week. He listened, really, listened. It felt easy, natural, it felt right. Or at least, it seemed right. But, deep down, she knew, God wasn't confused, God wasn't unsure, God was asking her to trust him, beyond what she could see. The next Sunday, Steve approached her, hopeful. So, what do you think, about us dating, really being intentional? I'm hoping that it would lead to marriage, he asked softly. Amara's heart ached. She looked at him, really looked at him. Anyone else would say yes, without hesitation. But, she shook her head gently. I'm sorry Steve, she said. You're amazing, truly, but, I don't have peace about it. His smile faded, but he nodded respectfully. I understand, he said quietly. And just like that, he stepped back out of her life. That next Sunday, something unexpected happened. After service, as people began to leave, Paul stood up and turned toward her. Not just casually, intentionally. His eyes scanned the room and landed on her. For the first time he saw her, really, saw her. He hesitated, then started walking towards Amara. Her heart pounded so loudly, she could barely hear anything else. "Hi," he said. One word, simple, but it felt like a breakthrough. "Hi," she replied, barely able to breathe. He shifted awkwardly. I know this might sound strange," he said. "But I feel like I'm supposed to talk to you." Her eyes widened. "I've noticed you before," he continued. "But something always held me back. Fear, I guess. But lately, I can't shake this feeling that I've been ignoring something important." Tears was trying to fill her eyes. "Me too," she whispered. God has a way of working things out, even when they seem impossible. What is impossible with man, is possible with God. God always had a plan for Amara. The waiting is hard, but Amara had to let go of her plans, and take on God's plans. As they said, "I do," Amara felt a deep peace that settled in her spirit. The kind that only comes from waiting, trusting, obeying. Even when it doesn't make sense. Sometimes, what God promises won't look right at first. Sometimes, it won't feel fair, and sometimes, it won't make sense at all. But, if you hold on, if you trust Him beyond your emotions, beyond your logic, beyond what you can see, you'll discover something powerful. What God has for you, it's for you, and He will find you. Waiting on the one God has ordained for you, is never wasted time. Hold on, ladies, God has someone special. You are not meant just for anyone. Be patient, let go and let God have His way. Let God write your love story. Remember, waiting isn't punishment, it's preparation. Ladies, if you will trust God, type amen.